Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. This is the first episode in the build of our Ford Transit camper van. In this video we're going to build the roof rack, install the solar panels and run the solar wiring through the wall. The intention is that once this is all done, I will never have to go back up on the roof to do any work. I'll be able to work inside. Before I start building the rack though, I'm going to do some prep work on the roof. These cargo vans have a number of access holes drilled from the factory in the roof. They're plugged with a plastic cap, but those can leak over time. So I'm going to go over everything, even the panel welds, and just future-proof the roof of the van. From the factory, there are 4 mounting holes on each side of the van, and that's where the supports will bolt into. So I removed the plastic caps. I'm gonna clean around so that when I apply the adhesive and sealant, it will stick to the body paint. The brackets are made specifically for the Transit, and they correct the slight curve in the roof. Once mounted properly, the sides are perfectly parallel with the brackets on the other side of the van. One of the mounting holes didn't line up with the nut underneath, so I had to enlarge the hole a little bit. And I applied a coat of silver rust-proof paint over it so it wouldn't rust later. I opened up one of the factory holes through the roof. It's not the last one. There's another one back there, but I think this one will work better for me. As you can see, I put a rubber grommet in it so that the solar cables won't get damaged with the vibrations against the sheet metal, and the solar entry gland will go right over top like this. And of course it will be all siliconed in place underneath. I'll also silicone around the cable themselves. Using the supplied bolts, I loosely mounted the mounting brackets to the roof, and the side plate is just clamped in place to do a test fit and start doing some marking. I am using Sikaflex 291, which is a marine grade adhesive and sealant, and then Loctite blue gel as a thread lock compound. Using an angle finder clamped to the side plate, I determine the angle at which I want to cut that side plate to make it more professional looking. As you can see, it's a beautiful morning to start working. This is where I am. I'm staying on a friend's acreage, and they're nice enough to lend me their barn garage to work in. It's heated, so it's perfect to work in Canada in the winter building a camper van. So let me show you what I've done so far. I installed all 4 pairs of mounting brackets, and I've also installed the solar entry gland and ran the solar cables. I have also cut, shaped and drilled the 2 side rails, and I'm now doing a test fitting to make sure everything lines up. So this gives you an idea of how the rack will be built. The side rails will bolt on the inside of the mounting brackets on the roof. The 2020 aluminum will be bolted on the side rails and the mounting brackets. And then I will have 2020 cross members going across the 2 sides. And on those cross members, I will mount the solar panels. My roof rack is designed around the use of 2020 aluminum. For those who don't know what that is, it's called 2020 because it's square, 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters. And as you can see, I'll bring you closer. Every side has a slot, and in those slots you can slide captive T-nuts, and using those T-nuts you can assemble this aluminum profile in many different ways. You can find all sorts of things, like for example, this is a flat connector piece, so you can join 2 of them whatever way you'd like. You can find 90-degree corner brackets. They have little prongs on the side, so they fit inside the slot, and you use 2 identical bolts that usually come with the brackets. There's connector plates that allow you to connect 2 profiles end to end. There's all kinds of things, and it's really convenient. This is a square one, but for the very front of my roof rack, I will be using a half round, as you can see. So it's got the channel on 2 sides and then half round here. So I will join 2, one on top of each other. So I'll have a half round, which will make it more aerodynamic. You can also get, and I will show you, special trim that will fit in the slots. Now I use 2020, which is the smallest one. There's 80-20, so 80 millimeters wide and 20 high, which is used commonly to make sections of roof racks. There's 40/40, there's different kinds. And you can order this either on Amazon, which is what I did, or you can probably find a local supplier for this kind of thing, where they will cut them to length as you need. Now I'm test fitting the side plates on the vehicle. I placed the mounting screws on the mounting brackets. Everything seems to be lining up nicely. Everything fits nicely, so I'm pretty happy with that. The next step will be painting the two side rails so that everything's black and matches. The 2020 aluminum profile is already anodized black, so I won't have to do anything with that. At this point, I've got both side plates painted on both sides and ready to go up. I also sprayed just the outside of the mounting brackets with the same paint so that everything would look the same, because the mounting brackets came in a kind of flat black. The paint I used for the side plates is slightly textured, slightly glossy black, so now everything will be similar. So I'm ready to bring one of those side plates up with nuts and bolts and secure it and see how that works. Okay, so the side plate is up. Now I'm going to prepare two fasteners to hold it in place. So that's 1 N5 screw. Would go easier if I was wearing my glasses. And one 2020 T-nut on the other side. And now the idea is to slide the 2020 profile on those two bolts. Okay, here's one. Do the second one. Okay, so I've got the two fasteners in the rail. So I'm going to push the rail and then secure it as I go. Now it might look like it's a bit of a complicated solution to what could be a simple problem. Remember that my goal for this roof rack is to make it first as strong as one I would have purchased, because not only is it going to support the two solar panels, but also I want to add an awning probably on the other side at some point, and it will be mounted on the roof rack, so it has to be sturdy. And second, it's complicated mostly because I want to be able to assemble it piece by piece here on the roof without the help of a second person. So far that's been working. Alright, so I've got the 2020 profile secured to the side plate, secured to the mounting brackets. The three rear mounting brackets are complete. The 2020 aluminum profile comes in 2 meter length And my side rails are actually almost 3 meters in length, so I need to cut a piece of 2020 to fit the front side. But that's one mounting bracket left to secure, and it's looking good. I'm actually quite happy. It's a little touchy because the rail for the captive T-nut is just a few millimeters deep, so the bolts have to be the exact size, length, to the millimeter to fit through all the different thicknesses of aluminum, and leave just a bit of space to tighten. So it's high precision stuff, but I'm happy it's working fine. So I think before I cut the little piece of 2020 profile, I'm going to secure, I don't know if you can see, try to bring you guys closer. Oh, that's too close. To secure the side plate to the mounting plate, there's 2 more holes at the bottom where my fingers are. So I'll place a total of 6 bolts. So that's gonna be good, and then we'll cut the 2020 profile so we can finish this. But I'm quite happy actually. I'll show you later. It's looking good. So all the bolts are M5 5mm bolts. These bottom ones I don't need to lock tight because the little cap nuts that I'm using have the nil stop ring in them, which means once they're tight, they're gonna stay there. Well, it was going too well. I realized that because between the two mounting brackets, the 2 middle ones, there's a longer space than between the others. I added a hole in my side plate so I could put a screw and hold the 2020 in that middle point. But I forgot to slide in the T-nut and put the bolts. So that means I have to undo the 2020, slide it out, and start again. Not a good prospect, but it's my fault. Live and learn. I'll know for the next one. Alright, so I have a small piece of 2020 cut. I've got connecting things that go in both to keep them aligned. And there will be a mounting screw at both ends plus the 2 on the mounting plate, so that should be plenty secure. So again, let's put all the bolts, T-nuts, and slide this little piece in place. I don't know how well you can see. Let me see if I can bring you a bit closer. Up, closer. So here is the connection between the 2 plates. The 2 rails, I mean. There we go. So this little section is held by actually 4 screws, as I said, 2 at each end and then 2 in the middle on the mounting brackets. And the 2020 profiles are connected through this connecting plate here. The 2 sides are fully assembled now, and I'm pretty happy with the result. It's very strong and sturdy, and I think it looks nice. So the next thing now is to cut all the cross members, and again that's gonna be 2020 aluminum profile. The crossbars that will be supporting the solar panels are held in place by 2 corner brackets, so 4 bolts. Of course they all have a little bit of thread lock on them. I haven't been filming everything, but I just want to show you where I'm at tonight. So as you can see, one solar panel is completely mounted. So now I'm going to cut the rails for the second solar panel. So because these T-nuts are captive inside the 2020 rails, they can only be slid in place from one end. Once your ends are capped by another profile or something, you can no longer insert those nuts inside. They just won't go, which makes it a little bit challenging, but in the end it's a system that works really well. Also, your bolts have to be sized exactly for the thickness. Otherwise, if they're too short, you're not going to catch the thread. And if they're too long, they'll hit the bottom of the rail before you have been able to tighten enough. So there you go. And what I like to do then is tighten them until they just almost snug. They can still slide but not come loose. And then I'll push them all the way to the other end of the rail. So I'll prepare all four angle brackets and then go on the roof and slide the crossbar in place. All right, and now I can attach the two bolts and T-nuts that are going to slide in the side brackets. Yeah, do the same on these two. All right, let's go on the roof now. Okay, so here I come with the profile I prepared. Now the trick is to slide it in place here, then on the other side, and then slide it into its proper position. Okay, first one's in place. So I'll tighten it a little bit so I don't lose the screw. Leave it enough free play. Same for the second one. Of course, my camera tripod is in the way. Okay, that one's in place too. So, okay, both are in place. I'll tighten just enough. And now I'll go on the other side and do the same thing, and then I'll be able to slide the whole bar in place. So the first bar of the second solar panel is in place. Don't forget to slide in the T-nuts, because otherwise you can't get them in later. And now the brackets have been fastened properly with thread lock on all four bolts at each end. So I'm gonna put in the second crossbar for the second solar panel, and then the solar panel will come in. So the two crossbars are secured and mounted permanently on top of there. I'm going to prepare the second solar panel now and then bring it up on the roof. Okay, the second solar panel is ready to go up. Let's go. Actually, the styrofoam helps the panel glide on the rail. Okay, so both panels are now in place, permanently secured. And one last thing is to tidy up the solar cables, attach them so they don't flap around. And I have one last cross piece that goes at the very back, to which I will attach two little loops for hanging a clothesline or something. Alright, so my front bar is ready. You can see the two 20/20 quarter angle profile. There's 5 plates holding the two together. The corner brackets are in place. So you can see the two quarter profiles held together by the mounting plate. So that should be plenty strong, and now the only thing I have to do is bolt it in place on the roof. The front piece is now in place, so you can see the half round. It's actually super solid once it's bolted, so I'm pretty confident that there shouldn't be any vibrations or whistling noise at high speed. From a distance, this is what it looks like. The whole roof rack is complete. So again, it's super solid. I'm quite happy. I'll have to do a test on the highway and see how it behaves, but shouldn't be any issues. We just came back from some highway driving, and there's no vibration from the front bar. It's doing fine. So I'm quite happy at the roof rack. I'll consider it done for now. Well guys, this is it for this video of the roof rack for the Ford Transit. If you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because in the next video we'll tackle the subfloor, insulation and plywood. Well, this is it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.